Yeah, bad quality of food at that. Yeah. So for those naysayers out there, you can't receive Social Security unless you worked for it. Let's get that in mind. Let's get that perfectly straight and up front. To say that nobody's worked, they shouldn't be getting Social Security. Who the fuck are you to dictate that crap to anybody or dictate it to me? Fuck you and a horse you rode in on, motherfucker. I worked. I worked. I'm not on the dole where I'm getting some basically handouts like SSI or whatever it is, which is basically welfare, because you didn't work enough fucking hours to get a regular Social Security. I worked enough hours and time and years that I got Social Security because I earned it. I earned it. You had to have worked. The key words, you had to have worked to get that. Bill Myers says 50s, 60s, and 70s were a better time to live. I thought it was. I still do. I still do. America died. Let's face it, folks. It's over. I still say, and I say this at no risk at all or no care, that the sniper that tried to kill that fucking asshole, he missed him by this much. I guess he didn't test the wind velocity at the time. It didn't do his geometry. Would have been all over. Then what? Who's going to take place for Trump? Vance? Vance, who sucks fucking president's dick every fucking day? How would he be any better? Fuck. When I see all this Trump's done, I'd rather have fucking Hillary. Hillary. I'd rather have Hillary as president than fucking Trump. That's saying a lot. I was never an advocate of Hillary. She's too emotional. I'd rather have Hillary. I certainly would like to have Obama back. Clinton, more so. I'd like to have Clinton. Don't matter what the fuck he did to Monica Lewinsky. That was strictly personal. Was he doing a decent job as president? I thought he did. I thought he did. But what he did with Monica Lewinsky, whether he she had a stain on her dress. I guess the only uncool thing about it was done in the Oval Office, okay? To be fair about this, he could have found a better place. Remember, Bill Clinton never inhaled. They never inhaled. They never inhaled. But she sure did. She sure inhaled Bill Clinton, didn't she? Some of this, yeah, you gotta love, really, you know. Okay. Yeah, I went live. I did a upload covering some of this shit, you know, and I must have had a lot of applications open or something on my phone. I had to clear them out because it was a relatively short upload. Then I said, you know, how I give into things a lot and to say, fuck it, I'll just do another goddamn live stream to Popeye's happiness because he likes to simulcast me, but he hates it. Hates it. I'm still going to do uploads, and I'll do a live stream when I feel it's necessary, like this morning. But I'm still doing uploads. That hasn't stopped, and I know Popeye hates it, and I'm not doing that just for him. Although it does work out really well, he can't simulcast me when I'm doing an upload. You know, he's got the copycat channel for that. They copy everything that I put on here. Yeah, there were better times, Bill Myers. There were definitely better times when I grew up. You know, when you could actually afford food. And I remember my mother going shopping. I'd go with her as a kid. You know, we had a couple of different names of supermarkets. There was AMP, which I guess stood for Atlantic and Pacific. There was different name stores. You know, very popular at the time. You know, AMP was one of them that we used to go into. There was another one. I forgot the name. It's been a long time. Jesus Christ, man! For $25, which was really a day's salary at that time, that the average, you know, worker was making about $25 a day. Jesus Christ, at $25, she would have a shopping cart that was overflowing for $25. Now you can barely get a couple of items for $25. Imagine that. Imagine that. I remember. On top of that, she's got these green stamps, they call them. You get enough green stamps, allows you to get buy some groceries or some gifts, some gifts. You get gifts from the booklet. You paste these green stamps in the booklet. Do you guys remember that? There was also called Scotch stamps too. Different supermarket would have Scotch stamps, look like plaid stamps, like plaid design. Then there were green stamps with AMP. I remember those days. Yeah, I'd go shopping with her. Oh, we're grabbing this, we're grabbing that. Red Owl here. Oh, you got Red Owl and Piggy Wiggly. Yeah, I've heard of that Piggy Wiggly thing. Yeah, my mom used to look forward to that. She'd fill the booklet, she'd go in and she'd get a gift. Oh, God, I remember those days. A shopping cart for $25. That was a lot. You get, my God, over a shopping cart worth $25. I remember my dad working. $25. If he worked to make $25 for that day, that was pretty good. When he made 40 or $50 a day, it was like, holy shit. Made a lot of money. It was never $50. Later on, maybe. But, you know, what was getting paid? He used to do house painting. Wasn't he did independent work on that too. I mean, but he worked for somebody a lot. And they were making all kinds of money, but my father would have to come home with 25 and at best $40 for a big job. God, we just blink our eye these days and we spend $40. We walk out the door, we're spending $40 on something. I can't go to even a store here in the Philippines and buy anything that amounts to like sustainable food, the kind of food that'll last and you can make several meals out of it. Oh no, no, certainly not locally. I can't do that. I can't do that locally. I cannot find the kind of food locally on my island. That's why when I go to, bigger stores, S&R, stuff like that, and Cebu, it's the frozen section. To be honest with you, that saves your ass because you could buy things that are packaged and has multiple products in that one bag. How many pieces of the product is in there? It sustains you. You could open a bag and take out how many pieces of whatever it is, whether you eat filet fish or whatever it might be. And you can make, or if it's, frozen chicken or whatever it is, you could take out how many parts, have it one day. You've got enough to make a couple more meals for your family. And that's how you do it. And that's the only way you're going to survive. So you have to buy family packs. You have to buy family packs. Even when I was living in Hawaii, and I used to go to Safeway or whatever store it was, and I would buy the family packs. Well, you want to buy some chicken leg quarters. There'd be multiple chicken leg quarters, and you could use one quarter as a meal, and you had about 6 or 7 left over, which could make other meals. I used to do that with steaks, multiple steaks in there, and you could take it out and have another steak another day and put it right back in the fucking freezer. Oh, well, whatever. You freeze your steaks. That's what I used to do to survive. And anything left over, I do like a mix and match type deal. If I had leftover vegetables and if I had leftover meats, I'd make a little monster mash out of it. A very incredibly delicious little monster mash. And I was able to spread meals out. Still try to do that to this day because you have to. Used cars, $50. Oh, yeah. Never going to see that. Yeah, brand new cars back when I grew up, 1,800 to 2,400. You're right. You're right. 34 cents a gallon, Bill Meyer says. That, yeah, gas was that low. But it's all relevant. I mean, at that time, even 34 cents could have seen a lot of money to you. At that time, if you were poor, even 34 cents. And how many gallons does the average car take? I don't know what it is, 15 gallons, some maybe more. I don't know. You have trucks that have maybe a bigger tank, or maybe some people have dual tanks, dual, meaning two. So all Trump has to boast about is saying that. Well, the reason gas prices are down is because he's stealing. That had like a billion fucking gallons of fucking fuel on there that he stole. It's piracy. Call it what you fucking want as a Republican. You can't live by the ideology that what's yours is mine. No, it don't work that way. But that's Trump's philosophy. What's yours is mine. And it never was yours. We owned it to begin with. Oh, please don't get me going. If you already have, or I already have. Don't mind. I like to speak about this. It's healthy for me. Because I'm a person who's a realist in every fucking way. There's a fucking bicycle out here. How do I know it's a bicycle? It has two wheels, a seat, and it has steering wheels. That's the way my mind thinks. Either is or it isn't. It's either true or it's fucking not. Like when people talk about me on here, and they try to take it as truth. I laugh about that. They wouldn't know the truth if it bit them in the fucking nose because people are cattle and they follow what everybody else says. They don't have the independent thinking ability, and that's the biggest problem in the world. Back then, it was 16 to 22 gallons of car. Yeah, remember when they right behind the front seats. So when that car or truck got into an accident, you were gone. You would have gone, girl. You were dead. You were fried. You were fried. And what was that car? That was the funkiest fucking car they ever made. What the fuck was that? There's a number of them. One of them looked like they took an axe and they chopped the back. It's at a 45-degree angle. What the fuck was that car? They had other cars too that also had the gas tanks in a very inappropriate place. What was that freaking car? There's a number of them actually. Putting you in a death trap. A death trap. Well, hopefully we have come a sort of a long way from there, but you know, now we came up with electric cars. And people are frying their electric cars. And people can't get out the doors because there was no manual override in these electric vehicles that was becoming so popular. Isn't that amazing? A lot of things amaze me, and still amaze me every single day. In some, crazy way or train of thought, in a way, I'm kind of glad what age I'm at because I don't have to be witness to the horrible things that are coming in this world. They're already here now. They've already approached us. We're engulfed with a lot of mentally ill politicians and people in general who can't learn to think on their own. I call them the cattle of society. I'm very famous for saying that on my show. I've never really heard any other vloggers talking about the cattle of society. I'm the only one that's ever emphasized this and re-emphasized it and talked about this till the cows came home. You know, oh, the Pinto. Yeah, the Pinto, the Ford Pinto. There you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Myers. The Pinto. My God. It was embarrassing even to drive one of these things, but they did. Oh, I had an embarrassing car one time when I lived in Seattle. I had a Peugeot. I bought not new. I bought a Peugeot, which is a very odd looking car, very European, of course, because it was, a Peugeot. Well, I needed transportation. Somebody was selling it. It ran. It got me from point A to point B. A Peugeot. Remember the? Yeah. I guess they're still selling Peugeots. Yeah, the Ford Pinto, man. That was a trip. The Ford Pinto. There were other embarrassing cars too, but right now I just can't. I can't come up with any names. Forgive me, I'm getting older. My brain ain't as sharp as it used to be. I'll admit it. It's called getting old. I saw something really funny just this morning, actually. Oh gosh, I should. I tried to do a remix of it, but it wouldn't allow me to do a remix of it. It was this channel, something or some feed that had to do with like drug addicts, all the people on fentanyl. And this was funny than shit. And here's how it went. There's this drugged out guy, just totally just, I don't know what he was on. They didn't specify. He was so drugged out that he went side of a road. There was a thrown out refrigerator, old style. And he was riding a bike, okay? And he proceeded to pick up this refrigerator and put it on his shoulder. He didn't need the refrigerator, it was broken. Nevertheless, his strength to pick it up. Just how drugged out he was. Okay. It's a mind and body connection or disconnect. I don't know what it is, one or the other. He had no reason to pick up this refrigerator. He had no clue what the fuck he was doing and what he was going to be doing with this fucking refrigerator. But he proceeded to pick up the refrigerator, how he did it, to bring it on his bicycle and managed to ride away with this refrigerator and his shoulders bearing the weight of this refrigerator. And he's just lollygagged off on his fucking bicycle with a refrigerator. He didn't even know where he was going. He had no clue what he was going to be doing with that broken refrigerator. I'm not making this up. I just saw this morning. Crack or meth would have to be. Oh, did you see that one, Bill Meyer? Thank you for backing me up on that. Because people think that I make shit up on this show, and I don't make anything up on here. Thank you for backing me up on it. I'm glad you've seen that. It's a drugged out society, man. It's one thing to get a prescription you need for something, but the street drugs are out of control. Now there's drugs that even supersede fentanyl, that are even worse, if you can believe they're worse than fentanyl. The zombie society. Because most Americans, especially Americans, are all zombies. The walking fucking dead. We got a president here that in the United States, quote, United States, not Philippines, that's brain dead. That's brain dead. Creating zombies. Because you'd have to be a zombie to support this guy. Yeah, it was very funny. I try to do remixes all the time, but some things out there don't allow to do a remix because they set it up so that no, do not allow remixing and so forth. And I would have loved to do a remix on that and present it on here. And the only way of doing that, I don't have another phone anymore. I have a separate phone, and I don't use my laptop. It's kind of in retirement at the moment, and I could have just recorded it from my phone and put it on, and I would have if I, you know, had the ability to actually do it. Some things are really actually funny. See, when you don't have a mind and body connection, you know, like have you heard these stories about a woman whose child was underneath? There was like a Volkswagen or car or whatever, and her adrenaline pumped up so much that she was able to go to the back of the car and lift it up to get the child out of there. Isn't that amazing? She wasn't physically fit. She didn't have big muscles. It wasn't a muscle man that did that. It was just a regular lady who had the strength, the adrenaline buildup. And adrenaline is short lived. You get that adrenaline rush, but you see it don't last. But when you're on certain drugs and shit, it could affect your adrenaline. You might have superpowers. Superpowers. There's no mind and body connection in certain ways. You know, you may not have any muscle at all, but just like a lot of these losers out there, they have what we call beer muscle. I talk about that all the time. Well, quite frequently. They got a big mouth, and they say anything they want on social media, but they won't say it to your face. And they say that usually under the influence, like Jay does all the time. And Barry used to do that all the time. Beer muscle. When you got alcohol in Barry or Jay, who seem to be brothers from the same mother, seemingly, except I don't think Jay was inbred. We know Barry was. And they talk through their beer muscles. Yeah. A little alcohol to fuel them up, like winding them up and see where it goes. Beer muscle. And Jay's got a lot of beer muscle. And so do a lot of other people in here. Who doesn't drink? Is anybody out there that doesn't drink? Does anybody have their own channel? I don't know many YouTubers that don't drink on a regular basis. I've not, well, I know a few. I know a few. It's not like in the mainstream of the Philippines genre, though. I mean, it's not the ones that you're used to hearing and people attacking and all that. But they all drink. They're very proud of it. They're all proud of it. Yeah, until the liver gets out. And, oh, shit, man. I really shouldn't have drank that much. I really didn't know it could affect my liver. My liver is like jello now, and they can't do anything about it anymore. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, you should have thought about that before you started being an alcoholic. Yeah, I go back a long time too. I was never a regular drinker. And anybody's ever followed my show to know that the only time I ever drank was really back in Seattle, and occasionally every other weekend or something. It pretty much was every other weekend. I was able to get away, have a sitter for my daughter, and you know, be able to get out with this little crowd I used to hang out with, listen to live music at the clubs and all that stuff. And I'd have a couple of beers, Budweiser, Bud Light, in fact. I was a lightweight. And I got really adventurous. I'd have a rum and coke or something. That was getting really adventurous. It wasn't even Bacardi. That was that. That was back then. That's only when I went out clubbing. I did a bit of that. Wasn't real big on it, but I did. It's the only time I ever drank at all. But then even after that, I didn't drink. I still went to the clubs. I'd get like a ginger ale or a cranberry drink or something like that. And of course, my peers, people I was around, always trying to get me loosened up. Come on, Frank, have a drink, have a drink. See, it's influence. If people fall to influence, I never did. Yeah, have a drink. I'll even buy you one. I want to see you loosen up because we're all drunk. We want you to be drunk too. Well, you see, I was an independent thinker. That's what the show's been about today, talking about independent thought. I didn't need them to buy me a drink. I didn't need them to try to influence me to drink. I said no, thank you anyway. You know, I remember one time I talked about where I found $100 bill on the floor in a bar. No way of telling whose it was, and I didn't tell Ted or one of the people I was hanging around with. Fuck, man, I just found $100, man. And right away, what did they say? They didn't say, well, good for you. Maybe you could use it toward an electric bill or something like that. Right on. Good for you, man. I said, no, no, now you can want to buy us some drinks. And guess what? I didn't even give in to that. I was raising a child. It was very difficult. That $100 could pay an electric bill or something. I didn't buy them no goddamn drinks. Fuck them. That's called independent thinking, my friends. Don't let people influence you. People are too easily influenced. Are they not? There's nobody on YouTube that has independent thought on here. Not many people I know of. If somebody says something about somebody else, it's, hey, that's like God's word. The old saying, if it's on the internet, it must be true. So if some troll says something horrible about you, it must be true. It's usually not, but people are not capable of independent thought and do their own research. If you're a newbie, especially, those are the ones that are easily influenced because they maybe don't have any idea who's this guy you're talking about. I keep on hearing about this guy Frank or whoever. It's not just me; it happens with other people too. What did they do? So the trolls will come back and say, "Oh, he did this. Or he tried to have his way with an 8-year-old kid, or he was peeping in somebody's window, or he was a draft dodger, or he was a scammer." Well, of course, none of that above is true. But as a newbie that comes onto a show and they're hearing all this about somebody, they don't have the ability to investigate on their own independent thought. Oh man, sounds like a bad man. What's the name of his channel? I've seen this left and right all the time. All the time. Okay, I've been on here long enough. I want to join the living. I got a family in here that are gathered this morning, eating their breakfast and conversing. I think I need to join them. And we had kind of a rainy morning, a little blustery. It's still very cloudy here. We've had quite a bit of rain, really. It's nice to talk about something other than the craziness going on. But I'm very happy to say that on my last political related thought is that I'm happy to see that there's a lot of red states that are probably turning blue. It's amazing how we even colorize the goddamn states as being Republican or Democratic. Like I've always said, there should be a one government, no partisan shit. One government for the people. One political group, one denomination, not a Republican, not a fucking Democrat crack, you know. Call it the People's Party. The People's Party. All the people. No separation, no partisan leadership. A government for the people, like it says in history, for the people. But it's not for the people. Not anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. It's for the person in that governing position of office. It's for the guy that's in a power hungry episode. Power, wealth controls the world. Us peons of society that may not have that kind of money, and most of us don't, have to be overruled by such horrible legislation coming from an insane leader that if you don't follow my policies and my train of thought, that you're going to be punished. Who can fight big power like the United States with all its nuclear weaponry? Venezuela don't have any nukes, unless unless Russia wants to help them out. That could come to that, because Russia wants oil too. They'd rather make a deal with Venezuela than really have President Trump make a deal. We are ruled by petrol, my friends, if you don't know that. We use it in the plastics. We use it in so many ways to generate electricity, to drive cars that are fuel dependent. Our society will end over a couple of things. Fuel. Unless they're going to develop atomic cars that can run for years and years like they do with the submarines. That's never going to happen. How about the guy that was running a car on H2O, hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen, or whatever it was, H2O, water, too big. That guy got killed. because the oil industry is so big, and the oil industry rules. Who leads and controls the oil industry is the supreme power. Bill Myers says it's 6:30 p.m. here, 4 above 0. Where do you live, Bill? Well, thank you for the thoughts. Have a blessed day, you said, in the evening. Well, my day is not blessed. I'm not religious. I'm just lucky. I'm lucky I'm still alive for now. Iowa. Oh, yeah. It would get cold there. No, I'm done with cold weather, man. I don't mind cool weather, but cold weather, no. No. I don't forget I grew up in New York. It got cold in the winters there. I lived in Washington State for a quarter of a century. And, we had some cold winters too. We had some cold winters. We had our share of cold winters. That's for sure. Not as cold as New York, but when I grew up, these blizzards and shit, your ears feel like they're gonna fall off. They're stinging, actually stinging. You have to wear earmuffs. When I was a kid, I remember that. I remember growing up at all the main thoroughfares in the little town I lived in. They had the big equipment out there, and they were, you know, dozing up that snow. It would all gather up on the banks, the sidewalks area near the curb. It'd be like, going through a fucking mountainous valley. That's how much snow there was until the snow melted. But then it became really ugly and black from fuel and pollution. It became a sludge. And snow was nice for the kids and everything when it was white and pure. But then all the sludge came in on it, oils from the road and everything else. It became absolutely an eyesore and absolutely ugly. Ugly, fugly, ugly. Now, I hope you've been following which shows I have out there because I put things on and I take things off for a reason. I leave things on for a reason too. I introduced people that didn't know who she was. The person who put this immigration complaint on me to try to get me deported. I want her to be well known. I will not take that off. I want you to hear what she had to say and how guilty she was and what she had to say. This is the woman that put this fucking report on me because her boyfriend, she didn't like the idea that I got her boyfriend in jail where he belongs. It was an act of retaliation, is what it was, backed up by some trolls financially who deny, and they know who they are. They deny saying it had anything to do with it at all. She was absolutely coerced into doing this. I would not be surprised if there was money involved. I wouldn't be surprised at all. No, we're not accusing her of anything. I'm watching what I say legally every time I put on a show here. I'm watching every word of mine and I'm thinking before I speak. That's why I'm saying that it is a thought that has come to me that she was financed, the lawyer, for putting this report against me because I couldn't see otherwise how she could afford it. So I'm simply saying, disclaimer, that it is a possibility that she was financed to do this, and that there were other people involved. So with that being said, yeah, yeah, it's out there. It's a full video. You'll see her face on the thumbnail. There's a woman kind of laying down in bed, her head on the pillow. Then you will see her what she looks like, on the show, because it's basically uh, a recording of her show that I recorded a long time ago when she put out this show. Go listen to it. You come back another time and tell me what you think. Oh yeah, she accused me of all kinds of atrocities that never happened. She said that I called her a whore and a prostitute. There's not one troll even on here that was able to produce a video that ever showed. Oh, they could edit something. They have the talent to do it, but you know, I got the original tape of her saying that I called her that, but her documents that was submitted had no proof that I called her a whore or a prostitute, and I never did. She was afraid of me. She had to go see a psychiatrist before. I never even met the goddamn woman, nor did I ever want to meet her. That she was in fear of me doing what? That I was going to hurt her? Did I hurt Barry? I had a reason to. Did I go out of my way to go hurt Barry physically? I could have in an incident, but my common sense said, don't raise your hand to him. We know that incident over in TGIFs. I could have annihilated that motherfucker. But my thoughts and instincts said, don't do it unless you have to. And he raises a hand to me. I would have wiped him all over that fucking floor. But I'm not violent unless I have to be. I was no threat to her. I'm no threat to anybody. I'm not a threat to anybody. I do not advocate violence, but I will do my best to protect myself in any occasion where I need to be protected. I'm not going to stand there and let somebody just pound on me. I'm going to do my best. If they pound the shit out of me and get the best of me, then c'est la vie. Whatever's going to happen, happens. But no, I'm too old to get into physical confrontations with people. I'm just too old for that shit. But I'll do my best to protect myself if I ever came into a physical confrontation. I guarantee you that. That's all I could say. Who's going to come out the better of this? I couldn't say that either because you never know. You just really never know. You just don't know. You just assume he's an older man. Hey, I tell you something. As long as I got 2 arms and 2 legs, my friend, as long as I have a little muscle that can guide my arms and legs, not just my mouth, my friends, I'm going to do the goddamn darndest I could possibly fucking do. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'll be getting the stream in a few minutes here. You go watch it. This is a person, and I could talk about this. No disclaimer needed. It is what it is. She's trying to ruin me and my family out here. Yeah, because people convinced her to, you got to do a report against Frank. Oh, you got to do it. Hey, here's a little something on the side. Now, whether it happened or not, disclaimer, I don't know. Could it have happened? Certainly. I may live to be 100 years old. I don't know. Or I may die in 5 to 10 years. I'm just saying. I can't back it up. But I could always say there's a probability without needing a disclaimer. But something went down because if you've seen, and they put it all over the internet, which was illegal to do anyway. And what was said in this affidavit bears no validity whatsoever. So because she was supporting a bum, a total fucking loser. Well, he was white, and he made $500-600 a month. Must account for something. And he was white. Very desirable. I mean, undesirable to you and me or any woman. But whatever her choices of being with him was her personal choice. I know we can't figure it out. To this day, we haven't figured it out. We have some idea, but, we'll leave that up to your own imagination. Just to keep things legal here. Which I have to do every fucking second on here. Considering the circumstances. Yeah, what she did was wrong. She knows it. And I think she's regretting it at this point. I'm sure she is. Because she doesn't know what's going to happen after this. A resolution. From the day she put this complaint in, which is like something like 18, 19 months ago, that's over like a year and a half, and they have not come up with a resolution. They're doing some awful thinking about this. They're still in the investigatory stages, which means they have doubt about that report. That's what it means. But I also know something else of why there's such procrastination, which is another part of the deal. So, as I said, I can't discuss it on here, but hold on, I got to mute this because I have to take a fucking piss. And there's a word that I never used to use. The word is livid. I'm livid about this whole thing. Foreigner in this society. And I've proved it time and time again, if not just to myself, nevertheless my audience who've been following me. When you want to try to label somebody undesirable, I could come up with a fucking plethora of fucking names of people who are absolutely undesirable, the ones that really need to be kicked out of this country, and for good reason. But to try to label me as an undesirable, I'm not going to stand for that shit. Anybody who knows me personally, and even those even on YouTube that have been listening to me very, very carefully through the years, they have a good idea of who I really am and the good things I've done. But when somebody's going to tell me I'm something I'm not, just like what Barry did, and you know what I did to Barry as a result of that. And if I have to do that to her, I'm going to do that too. Because according what their decision is on this, based on a couple of theories I have, and one's not a theory, by the way. One is actually factual, as I said, I will not discuss. Believe me, she's going to pay the price legally. I said legally. Let's get it straight, not physically. I will not harm anyone. She's never been in harm's way with me. Never would be. Well, she's worried about, her life. She's so worried about somebody who's never even met her. Somebody that she knows better than to get into a physical confrontation with a fucking Filipino. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid. But while she's singing the phrases of "you're an undesirable," "you did this to me, that to me," and now I needed psychological services. No, she probably needed it before this. No disclaimer needed for that one. And while she puts in a report saying I did this and did that to her, and I got psychological problems, I had to go see a shrink or a counselor because this guy, what did I do? That this guy did this to me, and I did what? I did what? And meanwhile, there's that famous video, I have it somewhere, where, it's just music and her, and she's like, la 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 la, with this kind of ethereal music, She's walking down this trellis. It's like a red colored trellis on this little roadway. And she's dancing and spinning around and, singing and happy with this happy ethereal music. And that was during the time that she put that report in on me. It was after the time she put that report in on me saying that she's got PTSD. How the fuck did I give her PTSD? I didn't even met her. I was a danger to her. That her life is fucked up. She can't function anymore because of me. Because I put her boyfriend in jail. And she did many shows like that. Then she did a lot of shows showing her drinking alcohol too. And talking about handling her problems with alcohol. We've seen that. No disclaimer need for that. There's nothing wrong with her. Well, according to how they look at it, she didn't need no counsel. Well, going out with Barry, that would make you think that maybe she does need a little counseling, but no disclaimer needed on that either. But under stress from me, have I ever been to her house? Am I stalking her? I never said any of that shit about her, she claims. I read the affidavit 10, 12 times that she initially wrote. There's not one element of truth to that whole fucking thing. My attorney seen that. He said the same fucking thing. This bears no gravity to what's really going on. None. Not an element of truth. But she's singing And during this time, psychological stress, she's going out with her family, her cousins, her friends. They're going out drinking, having a good time, singing karaoke, doing TikTok. Oh, yeah, she needed to see a shrink because I caused her some mental anguish. Really? Well, if I say boo to you, madame, if I go boo, what's going to happen? He said boo to me and he scared me. Oh, give me a fucking break. It's kind of like in society now. You can't look at somebody the wrong way. They're going to find some problem with you. But hers is all made up. All in support of a bum. A bum with no fucking future. Like, what is that all about? A bum with no future. That they can never be together, ever. And she knew that. Why is she still with him? You got me, folks. I don't know. I could say something, but I'll get in trouble for saying it. Maybe he possessed something that she wanted, that she thought was worthwhile. We won't go into that. Let's just say anything is possible, just to keep it pretty and legal, okay? Told you I'm watching what I say on here. But, watch your show, and I want you to count. Take a piece of paper and get back to me on this. I'm being serious about this. Take a piece of paper and listen to the show. And here's what I want you to do. You can come back to me on it, everybody that's listening. Listen to that video that I have posted, and listen to all the insults she's making to me and all the implied threats she's making to me. Listen carefully. Call me an old man. That's not a good thing. She's labeling me as an old man. I'm a person. I'm a man. I don't have to be defined as an old man. Something crazy. She's mental issues. She's talking about like I'm a threat, but yet she's talking about, come here and see what happens. She was threatening me. Listen to the whole thing and listen to it carefully. Really, dissect it. Dissect it. Write it on paper. And on my next show, or if you've just already seen it already, you could, while I'm still on right now, you could list a couple of things on there right now before I get off. I'm going to have a smoke anyway right now. So if you've already seen it, regurgitate a few syllables about what you heard. Otherwise, we can get back to that later on. President Trump might try to have the government retract all these statements in the Epstein files, but there's certain things I'm not going to retract. It's either real or made up, or it's factual. And if you listen to her, first of all, when you see her video, even see her and everything else, you're going to have your own statements. You're going to have your own opinions about it, but be honest about it. Tell me what you heard. Tell me what you've seen. Tell me if it's factual or not. Tell me the lies that you know are true. Tell me what you basically heard in there. Tell me about the threats that you heard. Itemize. And then you understand that this was an entirely invalid, bogus report. Trying to ruin somebody's life unnecessarily. I'm not going to stand back on that. Just because she supported some fucking loser, a total fucking loser, every form and way. Her boyfriend was guilty of a lot of things, but I couldn't cover a case. I had a case already. I'm just going to be about his death threats to me, but we have to handle one thing or the other. So we went with the cyber libel in regards to what he had tried to label me for years. She decided to go along with that to support him. Why? I don't know. Maybe he has such an influence over her. I don't know what influence he has over her. No idea. There's probably a lot of things we're not aware of that you don't see on camera. He was very controlling with the. Do you remember when he was living over in Romblom or wherever that area was? That girl. And remember he lived in the crematorium, the ex piggery. Do you guys remember that? You remember when this girl quit her job at a 7-Eleven in another place because he made all these promises to her? He was going to take care of her and the baby. Then he renting a fucking place that should have been torn down. That used to be a bona fide piggery. And it looked like they had a big oven like you'd maybe use at the time as a crematorium. And I got to sneeze. I don't make this shit up. It was on camera. Okay. I don't make any of this shit up. It's not worth my time to make this shit up. You've all seen it. That's all that matters. And this poor girl, he was so controlling of her. He wouldn't want to buy. He said he was going to take care of her. She quits a job because he said he was going to take care of her. Now, her parents lived within the region, that area. And she had to go to her parents all the time just to eat because he wanted to spend his money on cigarettes and fucking booze. Cigarettes and booze. He didn't care about the baby. He didn't want to buy her any milk. Oh, I'm not going to buy no milk. She had to go to her parents' house to feed the baby, to get money for diapers. He took her away from her job at a 7-Eleven. I believe it was a 7-Eleven. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was. To be with him, all the promises that he made that he couldn't keep because he just wanted to get laid. That's all he cared about. Did you know while they were living at that crematorium, that piggery, that he was laying on a blanket, couldn't even afford a bed? She had a crib that I think her parents provided. That there was one video where she was literally sleeping with the baby in the crib on that little mattress. She was in the crib because she couldn't take Harry's farting and his burping and his incessant coughing from his lungs. And it was uncomfortable to lay on a blanket as it would be. Now, whatever does you good, Mr. Jim. Hope you have a good dump. Like I say, get it all out, buddy. Don't need to be constipated or constipated of the mouth. When you have something to say it. Have a good dump. He did that. She had to literally lay in the crib. And half the time, she didn't want to come back there with the baby, let the parents. Then when he did go over visit the parents, he was taking over the kitchen, like telling them that they don't know how to cook. I'm going to show you how to cook. He was a master chef. The guy who flipped fucking waffles in Alabama was a seasoned chef. He was a sous chef. You name it, he was a chef of everything. But the only thing he knew how to do was flip waffles. He probably did it very well, too. It's just a joke, folks. You don't flip waffles. But we call him the waffle flipper because he was insane. You can flip pancakes, but you don't flip waffles. But he probably did flip waffles. That's why we always joked around about that. With all that being said, I think you got an understanding of the characters on here. And if you didn't before, you now do. Please watch the video of her on there. Please do. Not against the law. If they want to report me to YouTube by copywriting material, then go right ahead. I don't care either way. Get me knocked off YouTube. You'd be doing me a fucking favor all the way around. I don't have a problem with that. But that video is going to stay up. I want you to see her, look at her, listen to what she has to say. Catherine lies. Take a piece of paper, like I said, pen to paper, and make a list of everything she said in reference to me that would be considered very derogatory, insulting, threatening. Listen and learn. All right, boys and girls. And I'm sure Barry's probably listening to my show. Suck it all in, Barry, because that's the truth. I'll say it again and again. You are a fucking loser. You've been a loser all your fucking life. And that's right. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I think you know what I mean about that. I think both you and Jay know all about what I'm talking about that. When I see the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, in one respect, but there's other ones too that have to do with young girls. Right, Bummer? You know damn well what you did, you piece of shit. You know damn well what you did. You are defined as a person who is a undesirable in definition. If anybody was, you and Jay, just a few to name, are undesirables that should be, and you will be anyway. The beauty of this whole story is that he will be deported no matter what. And I know as a fact, he will never be able to come into this country for the rest of his life. Even if his girlfriend succeeded with what she's trying to do, I've not committed any crimes of any nature that would prevent me from ever coming back into this country. It's a whole different scenario. She tried to paint me as an undesirable. Tried real hard. But for what I've read, and for what I know to be truth, and what I know to be lies, she didn't do a very good job on her affidavits. Whoever wrote it up for her, they were just listening to what she had to say. Oh, really? Did he do that? Of course, they're making money on this. They're going to write down on a piece of paper on an affidavit, a complaint against me. You're paying a lawyer. She's listening to you. Okay, what did he do? Oh, okay. What do you have to show that? Oh, it doesn't sound good, but we'll use it anyway. We'll throw it in there for good luck. Maybe they'll take to this. That's what she did. Maybe a little extra money was given to that lawyer. Who knows? Anything is possible, right? No disclaimer needed for that statement either. But she got what she wanted initially to get a complaint in against me based entirely on lies. But we're going to see where this goes. It's not a win-win situation for her. Either way, I don't take these matters lightly. I don't take it lightly. Barry deserved him being incarcerated. Barry deserved going to be deported. He deserved, there's no question with anybody, even the trolls. They won't admit it, but they know that he was the biggest louse on the skin of the society here in the Philippines, with no doubt at all, without him to think about it. The horrible things he did, the disrespect he showed for Filipinos, the disrespect he shows for Filipinos, what he said about them, that they're useless. All they're good is for just shoveling shit off the ground. That we as Americans are a better race. And that Filipinos, he said, are a lower class of people than Americans are. We overrule you. In other words, you're dog shit. Oh, he came down on Filipinos left and right, and the government, even the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy. He attacked them too. Some of the people supposed to represent him. He attacked guards. He attacked the immigration office. He attacked the Department of Justice. Besides attacking Filipinos in general and their culture. That's an undesirable. You want a definition? I'm giving to you right now. That's an undesirable. To have his girlfriend try to say I'm an undesirable? Who the fuck is she to say I'm undesirable? When the very man that she's supposedly in love with broke every fucking rule in the book. To be pushed into doing this by people? I think she's regretting it because she knows there might be some legal repercussions, which we won't talk about. We'll wait and see. Wait and see. Remember, I told you about that proverbial can of worms being opened up? She opened up a pretty large can of worms. Can't put the lid back on it once it's open.
All right, there you have it. More cyber liable against poor Shaw. I feel kind of bad for the gal. Yeah, he really something else. All right, let's start with the political shit. Get that over with first. Okay. Well, before I do that, I want to welcome everybody in. Mike Luna, McFisher, Bowel Movement. That's a good one. Welcome, welcome. The original flying circus, man. Holy shit. We got ET Travel Freely. We got Omega Man. We got Steve 25901. Who else we got here? We got Don C. We got Gray Gardens Estate. That's a good one. Really enjoy that one. That's funny as shit. Yeah. We got Mike Dowdy. Oh boy. We got Raven Knight in the house. Definitely. Definitely. And yeah, you're all here tonight. Welcome. All right. I took a poll here, and the poll, let's end the poll. Uh, it's been going for 47 minutes and we got 33 votes. So we'll end the poll, see what we come up with. The poll is: do you agree with what Trump did today? 64% said yes, 36% said no. And I will say to the 36% who said no, that's your opinion. It's respected. You won't be blocked because of it. Okay. And if you have, and that 36%, if you have TDS, you may express it in the live chat if need be. Because we'll all enjoy a good laugh. Okay. But if you have something serious to say too, you're more than welcome. So after everything I watched all day, it's been all over the news all day. Trump went in and took out Maduro. But before Trump took out Maduro and his wife, okay, he knocked out close to 30 drug boats that tried to get into the Gulf of Mexico, that tried to get into the coast of the Caribbean. And he took out a lot of fentanyl, which your boy Frank is crying about. The fentanyl, people walking around with zombies. None of that shit's Trump's fault. You can blame the last two presidents on that one. You can actually blame the Bushes. You can blame, ah, you can blame that dickhead zombie, fucking Biden, who didn't do shit. Right? 10 years ago, Maduro nationalized everything. Everything that Exxon and all the other American oil companies had built in Venezuela was paid with American dollars by American companies. And Maduro said, "Get the fuck out, it's ours now." Oh, and he invited the Chinese, North Koreans, Iranians in. Probably he did. Him and his cronies voted in it. And his cronies don't have the balls to come over here. No. And, you know, simple geopolitical thing. We don't want the Russians, Chinese, or the North Koreans taking over the Western Hemisphere. No, we want them out of our backyard. And this is going to hurt Russia too. Okay. This is my opinion that I've formulated from all the newscasts that I watched today and seen going on. You can agree, disagree. And if you notice, I insulted nobody in anything I said politically, right? And also, you heard him say, too bad the bullet missed him, right? Too bad the guy didn't take a wind reading before he pulled the trigger. I'm glad I had that. I'm glad I had that on live stream. So, what I'll do is I'll just file a report and shoot it off to the FBI, see what they think about it. I guess he wasn't so careful in what he said today. And he wasn't very careful in what he said about Shah today. Not careful at all. Okay. And I looked at that video, and in that video, Shah said, if you come here, I will prepare food for you. If you come here, you will see what will happen. That's not a threat. Far from a threat. I mean, this motherfucker is taking too many benzos. This motherfucker is definitely taking too many benzos, and he's probably run out of Benadryl to to swallow it all down. Who was the 36%? Well, whoever the 36% is, come up in the live chat. Say you're one of them if you want to. And then, yes, definitely original flying circus. It's a great point. Yes, he hates being called an old man. Well, I got a news flash for you there, Frank. You're 71 years old. You're an old fucking man. That's all there is to it. Okay? That's all there is to it. Frank, I'm an old man. Most of the people in my live chat are old fucking men. Most of them. Okay? 55 and up, you're an old fucking man. I have never, ever in my life seen a guy with such a paper tissue asshole in all my days. Never seen it. Okay. Yes, he also accused the president of child rape. Okay. He's really a humdinger. He's when he gets thrown out of Philippines, he's definitely going to be welcome back. I can guarantee it to America. Uh, Let's see. He doesn't want to get called old man because of his ED. 17 young and cannot do in bed. Dude, that's life. We're all gonna get old. We're all gonna get gray hair. We're all gonna get wrinkles, and we're all gonna fucking die. That's it. You know, that's fact of life. That's there's Nothing but truth to that statement I just made. You know? And the only thing you could do is live life the best you can, however your life is, you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I I'll I'll, uh, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. I'll ring it up. I mean, because, Frank, he definitely he you know, Frank definitely likes to call Eric's work. He liked to call Roberto's work, you know, uh, he tried to call the police here, you know, but let's dial it back, okay? Let's dial it back to where he thinks he has earned his Social Security. And one thing I could tell you is math never lies. Hold on here. Just remember, Popeye, when you send that off to the FBI, tell them Google Maps Frank's house is pinned out. Yeah, very well, Gogo Bobo's sister. He actually admitted that the other day, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, I could call Interpol. But dude, let's do the math on the Social Security. He worked in a cannery, quit that. He spent 8 years in fucking college. He's got 3,000 credits. How much money did he suck up from the government wasting time in that fucking liberal arts college? Okay. Then he worked for the Parks Department part time. So for 6 months, he was working for Parks. 6 months, he was collecting unemployment. Right. Then when he was 40 years old, what? He claimed his back hurt. He earned it because he hurt his back. Uh, Dude, they had investigators chasing him around. He never he, he never went back to work after that. Hey, then he stole a house from his brother Al, collected all the money, sold it, ran off to Philippines, didn't give a shit that his brother was dying. This guy is taking more out of Social Security before the age of 62 than he's put in. He's taking 3 times out. He is tapped out. That's why he only gets $1,400 a month. When you're only getting $1,400 a month, you haven't even completed 40 quarters of work. And if you have, it got deducted from all the unemployment you took before you went on SSDI, okay? And now that you turn a certain age, you just get regular Social Security, okay? You know, like I said before, motherfucker, we put food on your table. You owe us. Bow down, kiss our feet, kiss our asses, and just say fucking thank you. And shut your fucking mouth, you non voting, draft dodging piece of shit. Because that is what you are. Yes, plus HUD fraud. That's what I was alluding to. Bowel movement. He didn't thank his sponsors again. I'm beginning to get personally offended. Me too, Mick. I mean, I pay a lot of taxes, and even though I'm retired, I still pay taxes. I pay property taxes. I pay taxes every time I go out and buy something. I pay taxes every fucking year on April 15th because of the money I make. This motherfucker is living on us, okay? And he owes us a big gratitude and thank you. That's what he owes us. He should bow down, kiss our feet, and say, "Thank you for being so generous." uh, my dog gets 1,400 a month allowance from me. Way to go. Way, way to go, flying circus. And why didn't Frank go to Cebu to Gilda's son's wedding? What happened with her? Uh, I thought Frank was family. Well, there you go. There's another fucking mystery, man. Let's talk about the New Year's Eve mystery. When Gilda goes out the door, New Year's Eve, in a beautiful fucking cocktail green dress. And then the next morning, New Year's Day, he flashes the camera to her and bang, she's still wearing the same dress. Oh my God. Was she out all night getting dicked down by the Zumba instructor? That's something I want to know. That's something everybody here wants to know. Paid cash for his 60K house. Call the IRS. Yes, Dr. Pedo Frank is shit. That's right, Gilda. You heard it on here on YouTube. It's fucking true. And I hate to clue Frank in, man. Frank's getting deported. It's all over but the fucking crying for Frank. And I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna go out here on a limb, and I've reviewed those papers through and through. And I believe they're the real deal. And the only thing I can tell you is I have no God given idea when, where, or how Bureau of Immigration of the Philippines is going to act on Frank. But when they do, they will take him into the custody, and then he got another surprise coming to him because there's somebody out there in left field who's going to slap a cyber liable case on his ass, and it's going to be ugly. I don't know what the rules are if you're living overseas on taxes or anything like that, but I think that motherfucker ain't paying taxes anymore. He don't vote. I don't think he gives a shit what happens in the United States. I firmly believe he said, fuck USA. And I personally believe he'll die there in fucking Philippines. And he'll probably get buried right next to his buddy, Mike Cason, the hot, the golden heart attack guy. Oh man. Gilly is on Filipino Cupid looking for his replacement. All right, guys, if you're 65 years or older, I know a real sweetheart of a gal who owns her own house. But hey, if you like drinking sewerage water, yeah, fine. Wait, wait a minute. Are you telling me that Frank will put into the exact same situation that Barry? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's why, Mick, that's why I call these two twins. Right now, Frank is saying all the same shit that fucking Barry used to say before Barry got locked up. And yes, yes, flying circus, 65 plus and having ED, okay, is a bonus. Let's see, Omega Man. He has been nothing more than a scammer. He survives on false claims and he is the biggest liar in the world. Couldn't have put it any better. Thank you, Omega Man. All right. Anybody who has a different opinion, you're more than welcome. And you know what I found what was really funny? When he put up that video of Shaw and he was critiquing it through, I noticed by the time I got to it, there was 5 comments. I couldn't see the 5 comments because he blocked them all, right? So if you wanna say what you gotta have to say, come here. I'll let you fucking say it. I may not like what you said, fine. I may like what you said, fine. But it's your opinion, okay? And everybody should be heard. I rarely block anybody. I mean, you have to really be a shithead for me to block you, okay? And I rarely block anybody. And I hope you like the Karen portrait of Frank. I hope you're all enjoying that. His hobby is putting lawsuits on people. My God, you imagine what he could have done with the money? He could have moved the well. He could have moved what do you call it there? The septic tank. He could have bought a nice motorbike, went cruising around. Yes, this is Gilly's year for sure, Mike Luna. Oh, those 5 was him? He commented on his own video 5 times. Thank you, Flying Circus. Uh, but as you can see, the guy's got, TDS real fucking bad. He listens to CNN, MSNBC. Um, he gets his news off the Yahoo page. I mean, it's yeah, and he could have got a new generator, Philippines bound. Turns out having the well next to the septic tank was not a good idea. Hey, well, you know what they say, Steve 25901. It's more fun in the Philippines. His towel could have been clean enough to use twice. But he's very upset. He's not gonna win against Shaw because Shaw's doing the smart thing. She's keeping her mouth shut. She's letting him do all the talking, and he's gonna talk his way right into custody like Barry did, right? See, but only this time, there's gonna be nobody to pay 50K in pesos to get Frank picked up. It's just not gonna be done, right? BI's gotta do it on their own. Nobody wants to spend that kind of money just to pick up some fucking old man, you know? No, that's a waste of fucking money. And he's sitting there languishing in in that shithole. he calls a house, you know, and he's gets more and more pissed off every fucking day, right? And he knows that paperwork is real. He knows it's coming down. He knows the end is fucking near, okay? And I just really thoroughly enjoyed how Aloe comes into his live chat and he kisses Aloe's ass up and fucking down like there's no tomorrow. That's how lonely he is. Yeah, well, at least he kept his promise to quit live streams. Yeah, tell me another one. Oh, man. I tell you, this guy is like an excuse factory. He has an excuse for everything. He reminds me of that petulant child you always had to put in the corner and discipline, okay? Oh, man. But, you know, tomorrow is week 18, and the Patriots will be playing the Dolphins at Gillette Stadium. Okay? And a little history for you guys. 42 years ago today, well, not exactly today, but it was 42 years ago, was the snowplow game. This happened in 1982, where where a Patriots fan come out with a snowplow, push the snow away, and the kicker kicked, and the Patriots won 3-0 against Miami. So maybe we'll get some snow and really good cold up there in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Oh, Frill hates guys that talk sports. He just likes doing the whole locker room after the game. Oh, man. I'd spend 50K. On Frank getting picked up. He owes me $1. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, he spends thousands of goddamn pesos on getting Barry picked up, spends thousands more on, you know, some stupid case where where Barry called him a fucking coward, because he is a coward. He is a pedophile. He's everything Barry said he was. Hey, simple as that. Hey, and what? What did he get out of it? He got nothing. All that money fucking spent, and even the judgment that he got, okay? The judgment that he got, dude, is not enough. The money he spent eclipses the judgment he got. Okay. Welcome in, Mr. Tux. Damn, I missed the first 85 minutes. Oh, 1982. That was the year Frank received his first SSDI check. Yeah, yeah. That was a historic year, man. Uh, but, that was my second year in the United States Navy. Frank was receiving SSDI, and I was fucking working. But guys, I really enjoyed this replay. Please, sorry guys, the game is a late game tomorrow, so I probably won't I probably won't, you know, uh, do a simulcast because I got good food in the house, got good company, got the game on, let the good times roll. But I want to thank you all for coming in. You're friggin' awesome. And I want you to enjoy your day or enjoy your evening wherever you're at. And this is Popeye One. I'm out of here.